Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome to episode 9 of Screw Culture. I'm one of your hosts, Dante. I'm here with my dogs always, Alex and Esty.
Yeah.
But yo, we're missing Melody on the ones and twos today, man.
Where the fuck is Melody, bro?
Yo, what's happening with
moment
him?
of silence for our boy.
Moment of silence for
For our
Melody.
boy that's out of commission.
What happened to him?
Nah, he's injured. Date of return unknown.
Man ran into a wall, bro.
Yo, boys,
That's
boys.
announced as like an NBA injury.
Why he torn ACL? He's out for the year.
Muddy SMG, undetermined game time decision.
Nah, to be honest, he's overreacting. He just cut his finger. He didn't want to come in because of it. So I heard.
You look like a fucking bowling ball.
I didn't want it to be like
I
this.
personally think the clean fade suits you, bro. I'm
Yo,
for it.
I had to go.
Yeah, he had to shave the fro.
Yo, I had to go from one extreme to the other because last week I had an afro, so I was like, yo, let me switch it up on him real quick. They're not gonna expect this. So
I did not expect, bro.
Yep.
When Dante walked in earlier, bro, he had his hat on. I was like, something's different. Something's different. He looks over at me and Esty. He's like, I got something to tell you. And I look at him like, you're bald.
I don't know how you called it too. I didn't see it coming at all.
Yep,
I saw it because like the sides were shorter on the side.
Give
of
him
his hat.
give him a rating 1 to 10 in the comments.
Yeah, it's gonna
Don't
be
rate
like
Dante,
a
bro.
0.
Don't
Like,
rate.
Yo, give him some confidence. This guy's feeling nervous because of the short hair.
Yo,
Dante,
boys,
look blessed, bro. You take
hold
like
up.
a little like polishing like cloth and like wax it.
I'm not a bowl. It's not a bowling ball. I'm not fucking waxing my
Nah,
head.
he's
You
just jealous he
freak.
doesn't have a lineup.
Yo, boys, I want to get straight into it today. Tomorrow there's an election going on in the States that could be big for us in Canada. How you guys feel about it?
How the fuck am I supposed to care? I live in Toronto.
Yeah, but like
Live in Brampton.
the
I live in
outcome.
Brampton.
Fam, there could be a civil war over there because of this. That's what I'm hearing on the
Yo,
streets.
it's a whole situation.
Yo,
Everybody.
It would be entertaining to see this like go down on TV, you know, like me sitting like back of my TV, like watching
With the popcorn?
you know, with the popcorn.
Americans,
Nah,
look
they
at
need-
these fools. Look at these fools.
I think-
Americans fleeing to Canada because they're afraid for their lives.
But we don't allow them.
I think they each need a roast. The roast of Donald Trump and the roast of Joe
Ooh,
Biden.
That would be fire. I didn't
That'd
even
be
take that in.
Joe Biden. No, I know
It'd be a
Donald
little
Trump.
humanizing,
Donald
you know?
Trump will go outside.
Trump already has a roast.
He will
No?
go outside. But one now, like post presidency.
Yeah, post-president,
Yeah.
that'd be crazy.
That'd be
Yo,
fire.
I want your opinions on I saw the other day on the news that Walmart is taking away all the guns and all the ammo out of all of their
Thank
stores
God,
in the
bro.
States
It's about time.
because of this election. How you guys feel about that?
Like, why could I buy a Skittle and an
No,
AR
no, no.
in
It's
the
not- yo, no, no.
same
Nah,
spot?
yo,
No, you know how like when you get to like the line in Walmart, how they
Yeah.
just have the extra little small thing. They just got Glocks there too.
Nah, y'all not
You're
under-
looking at everybody's
Hold on.
carts. Someone has bananas and bread.
Hold on,
Someone
hold
else
on.
has
Yo.
a strap and some Skittles. Like, what the fuck?
Hold
like,
on,
how
hold on. It's not permanent. I want to let you guys know it's not permanent.
What do you
It's
mean?
just for the election. Just because of the election,
Oh,
they're
'cause
afraid that people are gonna go buy guns to kill each other, to fight each other.
to
with
show up
it.
to like the
So yeah,
voting
that's
line.
lit.
so for the next like month or whatever, they're just not putting guns out
Yo,
now.
have you
because of it.
seen what?
How
So
you
like
guys-
voting here in Canada, like I feel like it's smoother. You get your letter, you know where to go. You have time to go. Like when I voted last time, I voted at school. I didn't even have to come
Yeah.
back to Brampton. Like I voted in Waterloo, and it was mad simple. I showed up in 5 minutes. I was in and out that bitch. But
It's so
in
easy.
America,
It's so easy, bro.
in America, the lines are crazy.
Yeah, I've
Really?
seen that.
Like yo, people have to line up for hours just to vote, and like they have to go out of their way to go somewhere for like voting stations. And I personally think that it's to make sure that our generation or younger people or just certain people that would be turned off to vote, and the people that are extremists with politics or that care that much more to wait in line will only vote. So I think they're trying to like minimize the amount of people that vote. In my opinion,
It could be that. That makes a ton of sense. But you also remember like their population. You know, like
Yeah, their population
We
is
dead ass
triple
got like
ours.
a fucking like a tiny portion of what they have. So like lines make sense for them. You know, they got more people.
but I feel like
more
it should
higher
be
density areas.
it should be more accessible for that reason.
For sure,
though.
for
like
sure.
for that reason, like we have. I don't know how many voting places there are in
They do
Brampton.
it at, like, every
There's
school pretty
there's
much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if we have that many here and our population, like you said, is less, for example, somewhere like New York City should have double, if not triple, in each, like in Queens and the Bronx.
Every other
everywhere,
building, they should have these ballots,
a
you
place
know?
that or voting online where you show some sort of identification. But like to wait in a line, that's gonna, especially if like personally, I would not wait 4 hours, 3 hours in a line to vote.
Nah,
I would not.
Can't
do
you
that.
vote online here or no? You still have to go in. To
I
do it.
have not done that. I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure you can
think so.
vote through the mail, but I just do it in person. Every
Yeah,
time.
well, I've done it in person.
Yeah,
but
yo, I
don't-
go every time I get that little patch. I voted. I'm important. I'm important today. I voted. I walk by people. I don't see them with the patch on. I'm like, you fucking.
You know what though?
disgust me."
I
You
do,
are trash.
I do kind of agree with Esty. I feel like young kids tend to be more democratic or like conservative or liberal, and older folks tend to be more. Older people tend to be more like Republican or like or like conservative here
What are
in
you
Canada.
saying?
Basically, I'm saying how Esty said how they make long lines for young people. Not like young people don't want to stand in those long lines.
You think an old person with a cane wants to stand in the line?
But
for
even
4
They're
hours?
more likely to stand in that line
No,
than
but-
me or him would. You know what I'm saying? So
I
I
don't
think
know,
that there's.
Matt. I don't know,
feel
Matt.
like
I'd be
there-
waiting in line for like 8 hours for
There
the
could
Yeezys.
be a conspiracy.
Might as well wait 9 hours
Yeah,
for the
you're
just
not gonna wait
weird.
9
You're
hours.
just weird.
I don't do that.
There
I don't
could
do
be
that.
a conspiracy
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I waited in line one time. Me and Dante waited in line one time for some clothes. I got a hoodie, a long sleeve.
How many
I got some
shows?
Yo.
How many shows did you miss? How many artists?
Yo, we missed Bear is the
Wait,
answer. We
what
missed
are you
like
talking about?
4 or 5 different.
Oh, the V-Lone pop-up.
Yo, guys.
Oh.
I need to explain something to you real quick.
I
So
forgot about that.
me and Fraser in New York, right? We're going to Rolling Loud.
New York.
The day,
Dead ass B.
man's
You laugh like that.
That's how they laugh.
man's on 4th and 21st Street. You know what I'm saying? But yo, nah, in all
Goes to
seriousness,
New York for 1 weekend, bro.
I had to, fam, you're the one that
was-
copped Tim's. I'm not trying to hear it from you. about
Everybody-
Yo,
one
how am I
weekend.
not gonna
Everybody's
get
just
the full
asking about the
experience?
concert. This guy's like, no, but I was on 50th
Yo.
and 75th Street.
Hold on.
I had
Let
a
me
chopped
explain the
cheese.
story.
Hey, yo, I was
Brother.
taking
Let
the
me-
train. I was on my way to Canal Street, pal.
Let me explain the story real quick. So the night before, it must have been like 10:30 or whatever, and Rocky posted or the mob ASAP mob posted a pop-up shop for V-Lone at somewhere in New York, and it was like around the same time that Rolling Loud was starting. So Fraser's like, yo, we gotta go. I was like, yo, we're
I didn't
not
sound
going.
like I didn't go.
Yes,
Like, we
you
gotta
did.
go. We gotta go.
Fam, yes, you did, because
It
we're
was more
arguing
like,
about
yo,
it.
we're going tomorrow.
No, it was.
If anyone knows how Alex is, though, I can already picture the scenario in my head.
What?
Like, I can imagine the constant pestering, like, come on, man. We have to go. Like, this isn't once in a Dante. I'm not
It was
going to the
more like
concert
that.
without going
Yo,
to the line.
It was more like
It sounded exactly like that.
I can already picture.
Anyways, so what happened was we were arguing about it, right? He wanted to go to the pop-up. I wanted to go straight to Rolling Loud. One, because we paid for the tickets. Two, because there was a couple artists that we wanted to see early, like I did.
Only a couple.
Like
There's-
Killy and somebody else was performing
You're telling me
early.
you haven't seen Killy before, though?
Doesn't matter. I still want to go see Killy.
Killy, and I
Hear
saw
me
Killy
out.
at Rap Caviar.
Fam, hear me out. It gets way worse. So Fraser finally convinces me that we need to go to this V-Lone pop-up, right?
Dummy.
So I'm like, all right, whatever, cool. I'm thinking the whole time we're going there that there's gonna be a lineup all the way down the block. We're not even gonna get in. It's gonna be packed, right? We get there. There's only like 4 or 5 people in front of us. So already I was like,
there was like 10, 20 at least.
no, it was way less than that. We were close to the front, fam.
Regardless, what happened?
Oh, okay, no, he is actually right. Yeah, I'm thinking when we actually saw Rocky, we were close to the front. Yeah, there was like 15.
Spoiler
20
in the
people
story, guys. Rocky was
Spoiler,
right there.
spoiler in
Right
the story.
there.
Spoiler
We'll
in the
get to
story?
it. We'll get
Hold
to it.
up. Fraser cried like a little bitch when he seen Rocky. but-
No, I did
Yes, he
not,
did. He's
bro.
like, oh my god, Dante, that's Rocky.
No, I did
Nah,
not.
he's a
All right,
big
move
fan.
on. But nah, keep telling.
Anyways.
Oh
I'll-
my gosh,
Hey,
Rocky.
so-
no,
This guy almost fainted, bro. So, anyways, so we're there. There's not that many people in front of us.
That didn't happen. Yo, dead ass. Bro, so what happened? We're waiting in line. The line and like the shop didn't open till like 4 fucking hours
Yo,
after they said it would open.
Hold on. Let me tell it. So it said on the V-Lone thing. No, because you're gonna hold on. So it said on the V-Lone thing, be there for 1 o'clock. Like it said you guys.
No,
should
it
be
said
there, like-
11, I swear, no?
Whatever. I don't know what time. 11 or whatever. So it said
Yeah.
be there early at like 11. We got there at like 10:45, 11. We were there on time, but it didn't open till like 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right. So we had to stand there all day in that line.
Yo.
And I was fucking cheesed at Fraser. I
Why?
was heated
'Cause
the
you were
whole
hungry?
time. I was hungry.
We went
I
to
was
go get
che-
food. I
Listen,
stood in line. Dante went to go get food.
Anybody's bag.
Here's the thing. People that know me-
old married couples. argument.
People that know me know that
You're
I hate.
sus, bro.
Yeah, this guy's super sus for me.
You guys are arguing like I was hungry. You didn't take me to get food. Like, what the fuck are you
It's
guys talking about, right now,
Bro,
bro?
that was a banger.
No. Hear me out. So I was cheesed because I hate standing in lines in general. I don't stand in
Nah,
line.
I
for
do too.
nothing.
I do too.
So I was
So
like,
I was
why do you
cheesed
have me
too.
standing in line for this place, right? I didn't really even know what V-Lone is. Like I fuck with ASAP, but I don't really care about the closer like that. So I
this
didn't
guy
really know
doesn't fuck
V-Lone like
with,
that.
with Rocky.
So hear me
and
out.
The whole mob.
So we're waiting in line all day. I'm like,
doesn't
all right. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll cop a 1-2 t-shirt or whatever. Like I'm thinking it's gonna be merch prices. All right. We finally get in there. It's like
wait, you
5
skipped the
o'clock
whole
now.
part. We're at the
we're
front of the
seeing
line.
Rocky, yeah.
We're at the front of the line,
Let
okay?
him get to the story about the line. Who cares about Rocky, bro?
Yo, it's part of the story, okay?
Go ahead.
We're at the front of the line. Like I'm probably the next person to get in the door. I think I was next up. Bro, this is fucking all black fucking Cadillac pulls up,
Yeah,
bro.
it's pretty wild still. It was
Bro,
a all
like
black
3
cat,
security
yeah.
guards, mins are busting out like this. Holy, full Tims and everything, bro. They bust out.
Full Timbs.
That's how they get the Timbs.
Had the uniform on.
Yeah, bro. They had the New York uniforms
Yeah.
still. And Rocky comes out. He walks like in through the store, right? And then Dante comes up behind me. He's like, "Yo, is that Rocky?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's him, bro." But like, I didn't want to be that fangirl. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Saying you were that nonchalant about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
I was like, "Oh, that's Rocky. That's sick." No, don't listen to him. No cap. Because there was guys like around the door that were foaming. Like one dude was like, "Yo, let me get a picture. Let me get a
Yo,
picture." You know?
Frazier's-
But I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna bother him. You know, like he's probably going in and getting out."
Fraser
I respect the guy.
Hold on. Frazier's skipping the part of the story where he reached to shake Rocky's hand too. and
That
Rocky skipped his hand.
never happened.
Fam, what are you talking about? Yes, it did.
Nah.
You telling me
This
you
guy's
didn't, but
lying.
you're like, yo, let me just try to hail a Rocky real
I
quick.
never did
Yo,
that.
you weren't as bad as a man's right at the front that were like super fangirling, but you were like that.
I did
and
not
I was
do
laughing,
that.
bro.
I did
laughing.
not do that, bro.
Yes, he
You're
was.
such a capper, bro.
Fam, I'm not capping. Anyways, doesn't matter. So
What
we
the
finally
fuck? That
doesn't
never
matter.
happened.
It doesn't matter. So we finally get into the store. Oh no, Rocky comes, he leaves. We finally get into the store. I'm looking at the prices of a t-shirt's like 170 bones in there. So I was like, yeah, that's
Mad
not me.
overpriced, bro.
170 American, by the way, not even Canadian, like American. So I was like, that's not me still. So I didn't buy nothing. While I'm like just window shopping, doing my thing, Fraser's like looking at clothes or whatever. I accidentally bump into Bari. All right, Bari's in there. This is the huge ass.
You guys ever
dude.
see Barry in real
He's
life?
fucking
bro?
scary,
He's
bro.
like a monster, man.
He's a monster and he's scary. And
Bro,
he has
he's
tats on his
like
head.
Rick Ross. Like when Rick Ross was fat, bro. Like these guys are like they're like big.
Yo,
they're
he's
big dudes.
he's a super big body.
So Dante like bumped into him, bro. He like backed into him and he turned around. It was like a little scared kid looking at a monster, bro. He was like,
yo, I'm not joking, Esty. He's like 6'4",
You didn't turn around. You're like, yo,
250
you
pounds.
missing something, G?
nah, bro. He looked like he would have killed Dante on the
In fact,
spot.
he
With
would've
like 2
fucking
fingers.
killed
Did you recognize who he was and say
No,
hi
I
and
didn't.
stuff?
I was like, I hit him and I was like, my bad, bro. Like that was an accident or whatever. And he's like, it's all good, no problem. And then he walked away. I walked
Why
away.
didn't
And
he
then
just
Fraser's the
fold
one.
He
Nah,
just pulled Dante. I don't know that dude.
Fraser's
Look
the
at
one.
his shirt,
Fraser's the
yo.
one.
Alex gets in there. He just starts Snapchatting. I'm beating up this guy with this.
Bro, like in there kicking Dante and shit.
But yeah, so we were supposed to be at the concert for 1:00. We didn't end up getting to Rolling Loud till like 5, like 4 or 5. No, even later, like 6.
No, it was like 5. We missed
It was like
couple,
6, fam.
No,
6,
it wasn't.
7.
Doesn't matter.
It was.
We missed a
I
couple
was heated.
artists that like, but they weren't like headliners. So it was like.
But like
you know?
from what I got from your story is that in general you wouldn't have waited in that long ass line
Never.
for like that's what I'm saying, bro. Like if you don't for something that you're buying
Yeah.
and like clothing, especially people in our generation, like a lot of people obviously care. Like myself and I assume you guys too, like that would carry
Pause.
weight.
Also,
to
we
vote.
got free pizza in line.
But like, that's
that
what I'm saying,
adds.
bro. That adds to incline you to vote, especially because you're getting something in the end. But like,
Imagine if they handed out pizza in the lines for the voters.
I was standing for 5 hours and this guy's talking about fucking getting free pizza, bro. And I didn't even buy a shirt. Fuck you. Like,
you think,
no,
but like, yo,
no.
Thanks, buddy.
Walmart getting rid of straps for that reason is like scary to think about. Like, especially even for that line. What if someone put up to that line because they wanted to get all the merch that they could with a gun and just broke into the store?
Well, I'm pretty
to
sure
shoot
they
anybody
wouldn't
in
get
their
into.
way.
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't kill us all and then walk into the store and buy whatever
Or
they
stone
want.
or something. But I'm just
I
saying,
don't know, man. America's kind of wildin'.
Just
Like,
saying,
yo, good
it
job out
makes-
there, brother.
it's something to look out for, and that's fucked that people actually have
It
to
is.
worry about that shit.
It is,
that's
bro.
pretty fucked.
Yeah, no, it's the hype beast culture is not for me still. Like just waiting in lines in general. I don't even fuck with going to Wonderland because I hate waiting in line for the rides. Like it's just I'd rather not.
Bro, there's some nonsense going on in some hypebeast culture right now. Take this in, guys. So there's this one artist, I guess you could call him. He is it's a brand. His name is Warren Lotus. Okay? So he makes clothing, pretty much, just to generalize. He makes clothing, right? Like custom shirts, custom like shoes, like hoodies, blah blah blah, you know?
Let me see what this shit looks
This
like.
guy is getting smacked by Nike with a major lawsuit,
Wait,
bro.
does he make music too?
He does not make music that I know of. So
Alright, so I just wanna
so what he does is he makes clothes, right? And I have a shirt of his. I think it's pretty cool. Like he does during like the playoffs and stuff, he was making like a bunch of shirts that like included all of the logos from like
Yeah.
the NBA teams and all
I'm
that,
seeing
right?
them right now. Yeah.
So his brand is very inspired by using logos and then like kind of like twisting them and making them his own design, right? Like
He distorts them.
yeah, kind of. He's like playing off of the Raptors like dyno and shit. So like he'll do it in a different pose and like add flames and shit to it, right? So like he kind of builds upon like an already established brand and then makes it his own, right? So
Like to make streetwear. That's what I'm
yeah,
reading
pretty
here.
much. So I fuck with it. Like some of his shit's cool. I got like a shirt of his. But he's getting smacked by Nike by this lawsuit because he's taken their what is it? I think it's their Dunk Lows, and he's putting he's taking their shoe and he's just slapping his own logo on it, and he's infringing on their their copyright of the shoe.
Yeah,
because
I'm looking
like
at the
Nike
shoe right
has their
now.
patents for like, this is what it looks like for an Air Force One, this is what it looks like for this kind of shoe, right? And so what he did pretty much is he's using Nike's colorways, he's using their whole silhouette of the Dunk Low, and he just put his own, instead of the Nike swoosh, it's a Nike swoosh, but on the end it has a Jason mask. Like it's just like it looks a little different, but it looks very, very similar, you know? So pretty much he's getting sued by Nike with everything you could think of, bro. Like they're laying him out with all these.
I feel like they're getting more mad because they didn't think about it first. But like in that case, when someone is that, because I assume he's famous, that he's,
Yeah, so he's got a
makes
decent
lot of-
following. He
like-
makes a decent amount of money.
So like
I
if you're making, he makes like I read here that it says punk inspired streetwear that's based off of other existing designs or whatever. So he's getting sued for it. But for example, if you're a streetwear artist, especially based in Los Angeles, and you have that much of a following, I think Nike should take that as an opportunity to try to collaborate instead of try to sue and shut him down.
It is. So, but that's the problem. I think, I don't know the specifics, but Warren Lotus probably went about it the wrong way. So one, this is not a collaboration with Nike. So if you want to go about a collaboration, you'd contact Nike, say, hey, let's do this. Let's work together, right? But what he did is he's just smacking his own design on their silhouette. And he claims that it's not a Dunk Low. He's like, this shoe is made in like, with premium leathers in like Italy or like Europe, right?
Yeah,
but
you can't do that.
But it's the same shoe, right? So, and the problem that Nike has primarily is that
He's using the logo.
he's using the logo, and people think it's a Nike collab. So like people have either contacted Nike saying like, where can I get this shoe? Where can I get this? That's not even their product. So like it's kind of infringing on their demographic. They're thinking it's a Nike piece, but it's not, you know? So that's why
that's tough. I don't know if you guys would, like, I would like to see, especially like, there's a lot of base designs with like Nike shoes or Nike clothing or just any type of clothing where I see I'm like, it would look sicker if it had this, and that's where streetwear comes in, where it does that. It changes stuff and makes it their own for the people type of thing. But like, it's hard to cross that boundary to be like, oh, where I'm taking your idea and I've made it my own, or as to I'm just copying it and adding to it. So like that's where like I feel like he kind of maybe went about it wrong. Because if he was just taking it and adding to it, then yeah, you need to contact him and be like, yo, I'm already an established streetwear designer. I have a following. Let's collaborate, and that could definitely make both parties.
And
money.
they would
But he
both
would.
make money off
The
it.
only thing with that, why I can see why he didn't do that, is like when you collaborate with someone as big as Nike, you're gonna lose a lot of money, and like
How would
maybe
you lose a lot of money?
creative control, because it's not just him at that point.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, and also Nike's such a big company that like it's probably hard to get that done. You know,
for
like.
sure.
But the thing is, like, when you're an artist, you gotta make your own shit. You know, it comes down to like, are you a real enough artist that you're just stealing somebody else's stuff and just like changing it a little bit, or are you transforming it, or are you making your own like product? You know, because I'll give you an example. Like I'm sure everybody always sees like on Instagram on their feed like random like anime T-shirts and all that. Those companies are like they're doing it the wrong way. Like if Naruto wanted, if Shonen Jump wanted to sue them, they could, you know, like you have
I
to.
feel like that's a little different. That's more like fan art.
It is, but
Maybe
like
it's,
you have to realize the laws when you're making a brand or a business. You have to follow the guidelines, you know, or else you're gonna get fucked over like this. Like this Warren Lotus dude, his life's gonna get fucked, man. Like Nike won, they got sick lawyers. They're smacking him with like every lawsuit you could imagine in the field of like trademarking and copyright. Like they're taking it serious, you know. This guy is gonna get fucked over unless he figures something else out. Because
I have two different perspectives on this. From the artist side, it is fucked up that Nike's suing him over this because now he's about to lose everything. But hear me out. It is fucked up that Nike's suing him for everything, because at the end of the day, it seems like he's just trying to make art. But on the other, if I was Nike, I'd do the same thing, because at the end of the day, like, this guy is profiting off of Nike's design and off of how Nike does things, and he's not in an official collaboration with them, and he should have no business working on the Nike design. Like he should have figured out his own design. He should have done it his own way. Nike has every right to sue him.
Like,
but
I felt bad at first for him, you know, because like he is an artist, he's just trying to make it, you know. But yo, like if you guys look at the designs, bro, it's like he really didn't change a lot, you know. It is just like stealing at that point. So like, I know it sounds fucked, but like he deserves it, you know. Like he's just kind of stealing their idea and trying to make it his own. Good examples of something similar would be like the Babestas, how they look so similar to like the Air Force Ones, and then like also the Revenge X Storms that look exactly like Vans, you know. Like these kind of products are very, very similar to their contemporaries, and it's like, are they stealing? Or are they revolutionizing?
You know what's crazy though? That's what the fashion game is. Like, how many times have you seen a designer come out with something that was fire? Like, for example, the sock Balenciagas, and then a month later you see them in H&M, you see them in Zara, you see them in, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with Kanye's clothes. Kanye started putting holes in all his fucking clothes.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Holes in clothes
it's the influence you have on fashion that will like help revolutionize fashion, but it's always going to be based off of something that's existing that worked already, type of thing. So like it's hard to dictate where is the point. Like from what you're saying, that Warren Lotus didn't change that much. So I feel like that's at the point where he didn't make it his own. He just added some things to make some money and
like barely changed it.
So like that's not revolutionizing. I think revolution when you see like it was taken a step further.
Yeah, when you're inspired by something, because don't get me wrong, all art is inspired from one thing or another, you know. But like the thing that makes a real artist is taking it to that next level, you know, like how he didn't, you know. You would want to take their design and like completely switch it up, but use that influence that you gained from them. But he didn't. He just kind of
you can't.
Ran, you know.
It's a difficult point to say where you can, like, especially like on YouTube, if you post something and there's copyright infringement, like where's the point where you've made it yours, where you've just copied and added something so that you could just get the same amount of like attention that pre-existing material or content.
It's not black and white, you know. It's
a hard,
and
it's
it never
hard
will
guideline.
be, you know. You can't put something like that black and white. It's very gray, because like you might think that, or we might think, and Nike might think that this Warren Lotus dude is stealing Nike's ideas and selling them, but like he didn't, you know. So that's why it's in a gray area. He thought that he was changing the game, you know, like. But it wasn't. That's why, like, these kind of things will get taken to court. And you never know. Like, this Warren Lotus dude might win against Nike and be able to, like,
He's probably
keep
not.
it. I would assume not. But, like, it will, stuff like this will always be taken to court, you know, just to show.
Yeah, of course.
Well, you know what the thing is? With big companies, they're always extremely protective of their logo, right? So when you fuck with the logo, like how that is, like when you put the Freddy mask on the end of the Nike logo,
they're
like
gonna hit you hard.
They're going to hit you hard, you know?
So like how you were saying before, how you kept saying how art is inspired by art, and then there's that gray area that we'll never know, like from what is inspiration to copying. What I saw in school was it's kind of like this, but it's completely different. So like this guy, his name's Peter Jackson. He's from New Zealand, and he was chosen to make this documentary film about the Great War. And
Which war?
The Great War, not the Great War.
I don't.
World War I.
The Great War or the Great War?
The Great War.
I guess it's technically both.
It's
the Great War and the Great War.
They call it the Great War.
Why, were they colorblind?
No, they call it the Great War because the amount of people that died. It was horrible. So like World War I was, and they're just saying
dark, bro.
It got dark real quick.
They're just saying like he was saying how we remember the war being black and white because it's not in color, so we can't see it from a contemporary lens, comparing it to like our real life surroundings and stuff like that. So it just looks like an old movie that doesn't look like reality.
Was it a sick movie?
That was his whole thing. What?
The war?
That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up.
That was been a sick action scene.
But
get to the chopper.
No, there wasn't one of those. Arnold Schwarzenegger was not part of World War I.
Yeah, he didn't get casted.
No, there was no like crazy action scenes where it was a big explosion and the main character was
Chan probably like a bunch of
Jackie Chan pulled up out of nowhere. Everybody was shooting. He dodged everything.
Anyways,
no, but he just kept on saying how we didn't see it from a regular lens where we could fully understand like the war and see it from just to completely understand it better. So what he wanted to do with the project that he was given, so he got a bunch of old like broadcasts from BBC and from a bunch of museums and stuff like that, and he was allowed to use all these archives to make the film. So he colorized all of the films and made them look like they're a 3D production instead of just like the 2D old cameras. So like and he put real stories from people that survived World War I in the background while this footage was being played. So like all of the footage that he got were already shown as propaganda before. We're already
Where
shown
are you going with this?
and broadcast.
What is going on?
And I'm basically saying how he took a bunch of used material already from the past to make something completely
but he
new.
completely transformed
And
it.
he
Okay, I get what you're saying.
he was inspired by everything that
Yeah.
already happened, everything that he's already seen. But because he fully understood, he wanted to let other people kind of understand.
I was trying to
it
wrap
from
my
a
head
lens of
around
he's
where
trying
you
to-
were coming full circle
Yeah.
with that. I was like, man, it's just giving me a history lesson. Like,
So
I
like
don't give a fuck,
I'm just
bro.
using that as an example that he was inspired to use information that already existed, stuff that or was already existed as a broadcast to make something completely new.
Nah, it makes sense.
So
Like,
I think he
that falls
dodged
on
that
like
whole
in a
gray
like that's
area.
dodging the
So
gray
are you-
area.
are you-
People know, like anybody that could look at that. I haven't
Yeah,
even seen it, but just
exactly.
hearing it, I can assume like
You
he
yeah.
transformed that. That's where like, yo, Warren Lotus, man, don't know what he doing.
See,
So are you
that's
trying
what I'm
to
saying.
bring it full circle by saying like that's also in a gray area because he's like taking like old technology, old history, and applying new techniques to it and new technology to it,
So,
and
like,
people
he's-
might not fuck with that.
Exactly. So stuff
Alright.
that has been
That's what I'm
he
trying
was
to
inspired
get what
from
you're
past broadcasts, past videos, past film to make a completely new one where a modern society would understand it. So it's just he drew on that inspiration to make something essentially better. Because like obviously if I saw something in color with better audio and everything, I'm gonna like it more than
So wait, you like
I wouldn't
watch this
say
on like
better. I'd
Netflix
say
or something?
different.
it was on. I think it was on Prime, Amazon Prime. I watched
You
it
have
on
Amazon Prime?
Yeah, I have
Who
Student
the
Prime.
fuck has Amazon Prime?
I have Student Prime. I get for
You're
Everybody,
sick, bro.
you don't pay for Prime to get shipping, like free shipping or one
for
day
students
shipping?
it's like $2. It's
Yeah,
cheap.
I pay for Prime.
Do I look like a student, bro?
Well, that's why it's for me. It's cheap. I don't know about you, but you're regular.
That's crazy.
You call me a regular
This guy
dude
hit you
looking
with
at.
the-
I just be the average Joe
That's
looking
what I
at.
was about to say.
But yeah, that's my whole point. I know it's different and it might not kind of directly relate to it, but it's just like
No,
that.
that makes a ton of sense.
He
Yo.
dodged that whole gray area.
Yo, it's
just
crazy you
pretty
guys are talking about that. That's actually a big thing in the gaming community right now where a lot of people are having an issue with taking old games and how they originally were and like remaking them, remastering them and putting them like making them with new technology nowadays, but also like changing up little bits of things, changing up like the music in the like remixing the music
But
and whatnot.
isn't it the
and
same
people aren't
studio
really
doing
fucking
it?
with
So
no.
how can people? Oh,
No.
like
So I mean sometimes and sometimes not. Every game's
so. Who?
different.
Give me an example. Like who's done something like this?
Okay, so for example, there's this game called Final Fantasy VII, right?
Okay.
So it came out in 1997.
Who made it?
Square, you wouldn't know.
Square Enix,
Sorry, I
right?
maybe you would. Square Enix, yeah.
It
So,
takes someone average
sorry,
Joe.
well, most people would know.
I
So,
get
anyways,
Square
so this team called Square Enix made it where the original game was like obviously it was made on the PS1, so it looks terrible. It's like top down. It's like a RPG, so turn based. You just attack, right? But the new one they made it like modern for everybody. They
Who
made
made
it
the new one,
action.
though? Did
Square Enix also made
So
the
then,
new one.
how are they catching fire for that? It's like they own the rights to
Because
do it.
it's
like,
so different from the because they came out and they said this is a remake of the original. This is going to be a retelling of the original. And then they came out and they made it so different than the original that it kind of split fan bases.
Oh,
Split
okay.
the fan base.
That's-
Some
that's-
people wanted them
yeah.
to remake the original game beat for beat, and what the new one isn't that. They just took parts of the new game or the old game, put it in the new game,
Yeah.
and then basically retold the story, if that makes sense.
you can-
And it's a big issue amongst the community right now because people are like, well, we wanted the old, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like a gray area with remaking games where it's like, we don't, like, should we just keep games how they were? And then if you want to play games like that, you play the old version of the games, or is it okay for us to continuously change them and like change the things that we love and like
I think
you know
that's
what I mean?
whack
Fuck
that
with
people
them.
are getting mad because like I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
don't
upset to
think-
play like a new game with new features compared to like its old counterpart. Like I'm not opposed to like how GTA is so different to San Andreas. Like that's I like
that's
the
a-
new-
that's a
Well,
different
it's
comparison.
like
Like-
what if you so what's a movie you love? Give me an example of
Oh
a
yeah,
movie you
like
love.
even movie sequels. People always complain that the second one wasn't as good as the first one.
But
Just
that's
give me-
different.
just give me
That-
any
no,
movie,
but
just
wait,
real
wait.
quick.
That's different though because you guys are comparing like a first movie to a second movie. They're remaking.
They're
the thing.
remaking the same
So that's
movie.
why the
So what's-
fan base is like, this isn't the same as the first one, so I'm mad. But like, yo, the people saying that are just fucking pussies. Like, yo, if you want to play the original, play the
That's
original.
it.
It's
They're
there, so
remaking
therefore,
it.
yeah.
So like, quit crying like a little bitch.
But
Like,
here's
it's
the
a new
thing.
game.
Here's the
Like,
thing.
fuck?
In this case, in this particular case with this game I'm talking about, they completely they retell the story in a way
I don't
that
give a
kind of
fuck.
ruins the first
I
one.
don't give a fuck.
I know you don't, but I'm just saying like it's like
They're
imagine
waste
if,
mans for that.
hear me out. But it's just like imagine if what's a movie you love? Like let's say you love Star Wars for example, right? It's like if I like
Which one? Which one?
I don't fucking know any of them.
Episode
it's
3.
Episode 3.
Okay,
There you
okay.
go.
Bang.
The one with Darth Vader. So
Banger.
isn't that Empire Strikes
Yeah,
Back? That's
yeah.
2, right?
No, 3 is the one is the one with Darth Vader.
Empire Strikes Back is 5.
You're
Episode
losing
5.
yourself in the sauce
But
here.
just
Keep it
continue.
going.
Anyways,
Continue what
doesn't
you're
matter.
talking about,
So it's
man.
like, imagine if they took episode 5 of Star Wars
Yeah.
and then they completely retold the story so that at the end Darth Vader is the one that, or no, Luke is the one that says to Darth Vader, I am your father. I know
See,
that
like,
doesn't make sense.
That sounds problematic, but you gotta understand.
No,
like,
that's not-
if you want to watch the original one, watch it, bro. Take the art for what it is. Just because they remade the new one and you didn't like it, you're just being a bitch, bro. Like, suck it up, man. Like, it's
Fair enough.
Yeah, they might have ruined your favorite movie, but like, they didn't. You could still go
Yeah,
watch your favorite
Yeah.
movie. You know,
No,
like
I agree with you.
Like,
I
I'll
agree
give
with
you another example. It's a small one, but like, I used to like the Pokemon Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald series, right? Pokemon Generation 3. They remade Omega Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire, right? For the 3DS. I was not a fan of the remakes because I felt like it strived away from the original. But I don't fucking hate Nintendo for it, bro. And I've gone back and played the original ones since then. And I've enjoyed them, you know? Like, I'm not gonna...
I think it's a little different, even just to say like, oh, like, don't care, because it's not about like not caring that it's not good enough, but it's just like people are mad that it doesn't do it justice, and like you had this much time to make something that, especially with the amount of tools that we have now compared to like, do you know the movie Red Dawn? It's like this old war movie, like Russians come, like
This
they're
kid just loves watching old war movies, bro.
it's
like
like,
that. I like
there's
that.
one, I think it was Russians, or I forget who it was, but they came and they took over they took over America and stuff, but these high school kids made it out and they're living in the forest.
Okay.
And they kind of fight back to save some of their friends and stuff
Sounds
like that.
familiar.
So they remade
Does
it and
not.
stuff. And I liked how the remake was, because
Okay.
it looked just visually better, and it was just a better film in general than the first one. People might say otherwise, but I'm just saying, like, you expect with the tools you have now for it to just be that much better. So it's maybe people are like, sure, like you can watch the old one, but you just expect to see something that embodies the old one, but is that much better because of the tools that exist.
No, it makes sense. Like, I get why they're mad. I just think they're soft because you gotta understand, like, just because it's not the vision of how you wanted it doesn't mean like that they're in the wrong, you know? Because like, yeah, maybe you're the demographic they're going for and they missed, but like, bro, if they just remade the old one the exact same way it was, like what's the point of even doing that? You know, like they want to transform their own idea as well, you know? It's not like they're going to take it word for word and copy the same one. They
exactly.
want to transform their
I
own
understand,
stuff,
but
you know?
that's not what people are expecting.
I don't
People
give a
expect it-
fuck.
People want you to take what they love and modernize it. But what you're saying is taking what people love and changing, even though
But
it's the same character,
that's not a
same world,
remake.
you're
That's a
changing.
remaster.
No, that's a remake. They're both remakes.
I don't know. I feel like there's different terminology
People
for
do
it.
complain
remaking
too
something
much,
literally remaking something literally means taking what's old
No,
and making it new.
no,
again.
that's remastering.
People-
it.
No,
Remaking is
no.
building it from the ground up again
No,
because you're making it again.
no.
You're
Remastering is when you take the old code, the old engine, the old idea, and you just give it modern day, like not modern
Exactly,
day graphics.
that's exactly
no,
what
no,
you
no,
just said.
No, you upres it, so you make it 4K.
yeah, you're remastering.
No,
You're-
no.
That's exactly the same thing.
It's not. It's different. It's like
My bad, gamer.
no, but it's truthfully, it's like remaking is like making a new asset of a character, changing the way the game looks, changing the art.
That's what I'm
style.
saying. You said that Square Enix remade the game, so
Yeah.
that means they brought in new things. They recreated the
yeah.
game.
But
so then why are people
remastering-
getting mad? They didn't remaster it. I could understand if you said we're remastering a game and then they fucking gave you a different product. Remastering it should be the same, just modernized, you know? But they didn't remaster it. They remade it. So
Okay.
they're gonna add in new things to it. They're gonna take stuff out because they're remaking it. Remastering is like taking what you have and just moving it up. But remaking is like you're going back to the drawing board and seeing what you have, taking a bit out, and then moving from there. You know what I'm saying? So like I could get why the fans would be mad if they said they were remastering it, but then they ended up remaking it, but they didn't. They just remade it and said, yo, we're remaking the game. And people weren't happy that it wasn't mirrored exactly how it was when they were kids, you know? And nostalgia always plays a big part in that kind of thing, you know? Like
But that's
nobody
what I'm
wants
saying.
their favorite
Like,
kids game ruined.
But yeah,
Definitely.
that's why two creatives, two artists or whatever are never gonna have the same perspective. Like one creative can think about something in a box and create something great, but then someone else, like another contemporary, like someone like Elon Musk or anyone like that, can think of it outside of the box and remake it and make it that much better. But like people will still not be satisfied because it's missing elements from the first one. It's honestly personal perspective though. Like
It is.
we can like it, but other people see certain things that we can't see from their perspective. So they're like, I saw this in the first one. I'm not seeing this. I'm not feeling this in the second one. I'm not seeing this in the remake. If you get what I mean.
No, I get it.
So it's
It makes
honestly,
sense.
it's honestly down to individual
But
perspective.
you also remember, like, you can't always make everybody happy with any art, you know? Like,
Bro,
everybody...
people are annoying as fuck.
Yeah, everybody
especially for
loves to
movies.
say, like, yo, I
Especially
make my
for
art for
fucking
myself,
movies.
you know?
Holy
But, like,
fuck.
yo, you make it for the fans, you know? But, like, it's hard because you can't please every fan out there, even if it's just fans. You can't please everybody, right? So you just got to make the best product possible and hope as many people like it as possible, you know? Same with that.
Building off of like that one point we're talking about how creatives build off of other creatives, but like they'll never have that same perspective because everyone's just trying to like not one up someone, but just make it their own and make it better. But like I feel like it's even harder for an individual artist to make himself continue to be great for a long period of time. Like those are the ones that last when they can kind of build off of an initial idea and make it something even better. And every time people keep on buying into it, like because they keep on thinking this person's a creative genius. Everything that they drop, everything that they're releasing, all their new ideas are building off of his old ones, but they're getting even better. And but like sometimes you can get lost in it because people just start to not believe in your creativity or not understand even the length of your creativity. Like I guess a prime example of that is Kanye. Kanye has built off of his like old personality, and he's obviously evolved throughout time with the music and then with the clothing brand. And then, like he kept on taking a next step to become a billionaire that he is today. So everyone was buying into it until he kind of lost his audience a little bit, where people see that he's grasped knowledge from his past experiences, but like he's taking an unexpected turn and he's trying to explain himself in a way in different areas, like even running for president and stuff. Like where did that come from?
I think it's hard to portray the kind of ideas that he's having. Obviously, I don't know what's going on in Kanye's head, but when you're thinking on such a big scale, or even just when you're thinking of a lot of things that most people don't think of, it's hard to explain where you're coming from and to get people to understand. Like a way that I like to say it too is like, I have the vision, but I have to give the people the glasses, you know? And it's kind of hard. It's not like just you got to put it on their face, you know? You got to preface a lot and explain a lot to them. And like a good example would be like when Kanye was on the Joe Rogan podcast, right? Like he I'm sure he was misconstrued a lot on there. Like the kind of things that Kanye talks about, like how he wants to reform all of like how mankind moves and everything, and like how they live. It's hard to explain those kind of things to people that like just see the world as a certain way, you know? Like a lot of people see the direction of like the government from where it's been, you know. It's very political in the sense of like a presidential candidate will talk about the kind of plans they have, talk about how they're gonna execute those. They'll promise things, as where like Kanye, when he's talked about how he wants to be president, he'll go in that direction, but in a different way. He'll talk about how he wants to change how people look at each other and contribute to different ideas and how we can move forward as mankind, right? But instead of him saying, well, we need to do this and we need to focus on that and I have a plan to get there, he just kind of like branches out into, I think we should do this and we'll get there eventually, but we need to do this and we're doing it wrong. We need to do this, right? And that's where like there's a disconnect where people are looking at it at how these are how presidents used to talk about how they're doing things, and he's talking about it in this way. Like it's just hard to get that out. I'm sure, you know.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
You don't find that a little bit like hard to do when you have like he has so many different things on his plate. Like when I watched that interview too, because I seen the same thing, and to me it just looked like somebody that didn't really know exactly what he wanted to pursue. Because 1 minute he's talking about doing this, and the next minute he's talking about doing that.
I agree.
Then he's talking about being an artist, you know. Then he's still talking about running for president. Like the biggest thing I took from that interview, like to me, was I realized how hard it is for an artist or anybody in that, for that matter, that is so like dominant in their field of work to like break that mold of how people see them like that.
Yeah, because people know Kanye as like the music maker, the fashion dude. But now people are seeing him as the president, right?
Well, no,
so like it's hard to break out of it.
So for me, even when I was watching it, I was still looking at it like Kanye the artist is crazy. He's trying to be president. He's trying to change the world and be like this genius, you know, that he keeps calling himself. This revolutionary character. But it's like, and I know that that's what Kanye is trying to do. He's trying to get us to like break our way of thinking about him, and like he wants us to not look at him as an artist. Or a musician. He wants us to look at him as like a genius, like a Elon Musk or like a Disney or whatever.
But backing it up a little bit, like we have already like a pre-diagnosed stigma of who Kanye West is. Like from like even how he's always been seen as someone that has a lot of great ideas in his head and has a hard time putting it into place. He's obviously done it before in many different areas. He's made it happen. But like even like the simple thing when he went on stage in the Grammys and took away wanted to interrupt Taylor Swift and say that it should have went to Beyonce or whatever he said and stuff like that. Like even just from then, like people know that people think that he's not mentally well. People think that he acts
That
on
doesn't
impulse.
help to the whole thing.
People like to take away from the creativity and they say he acts on impulse. So like even when I watched his first presidential like campaigning speech, like that whole thing when he had, I forget where it was, but he had that whole scenario where he was crying on stage talking about how he almost lost his daughter and stuff like that. Like that for me, that he lost credibility. In like, what are you talking about? What are you?
What is you even talking about, Kanye?
How is that gonna benefit the nation? What are you doing as a president? You want to be a president and like you're talking about personal things, but he was trying to. I feel like he had so much things in his head that that's the only way it could come out. And he
I feel like he easily
himself.
flies off like the rails in a sense of like he gets very emotional. Because he has a lot going on, so like he's very passionate about all these things, I'm sure, but that probably struck a chord and just got him like.
Cause like going back to it, he's trying to build like how with that whole conversation we had of building on your own creativity and trying to make it better. He's trying to do that, but I feel like he's having a hard time communicating it, so people understand that like there is development, there is a chance.
I wouldn't even say it's just hard because he's normally like bad at communicating in that sense. Everybody looks at him like he's a crazy guy, so that's hard enough. But I think another level to it on why people are confused and think he's crazy too is because now he's not just talking about like breaking boundaries in like the music industry and like the fashion industry. Now he's talking about like reforming how society works, you know? Thank you. It's like, so most people, like, I know it's weird to say, but the normal Joe doesn't like look at Kanye for that kind of stuff. So he just thinks he's a fucking crazy dude talking out of his ass.
Quick question. Do you guys think he's crazy?
I do not think Kanye's crazy at all. I think Kanye is a very smart individual, and yes, I've doubted him in the past. Like when you saw at that rally, like he's crying and stuff. Like it makes me wonder. But like I think Kanye is very smart and like he knows what he's doing. It's just hard for him to execute.
I just don't think he's going about things in the most intellectual way that he could be. Like I feel like he could perform or do things in a better way to help people understand instead of just doing it at the like in the sense of being in the moment or just like allowing the world to see the Scrabble head instead of seeing the idea. Because you guys got to think about like a whole presidential speech and all that election shit. Like cool that it's that we see it and we kind of understand it as people of our generation. But a lot of the people voting and a lot of people in America, a lot of them are families. There's low income families, there's high income families, people in the in between. So sure, he's talking about all this change, but it doesn't necessarily mean people like the change. Because like, what does that mean? He wants to change society, but what does that mean for my job? How can I continue to support my family?
He has to think about those kind of things.
So like, there's a lot of things that he hasn't addressed, and like that's why people are like, "Yo, what the fuck are you talking about?"
I think one thing that I noticed near the end of like the interview that he was having with Joe Rogan, I felt like the podcast was kind of a reality check or a wake up call to him for that idea alone. Like Kanye has all these ideas, right? He wants to change how society works and all that, but he hasn't really put together ways to do that. You know, like he has to figure out what's going to happen to the society, what's going to happen to people's jobs, all this. He has to like make a detailed, thought out plan on how to execute all these things. And when Joe Rogan was asking him like serious questions, like, what are you going to do about the military and how their money is like sent out, right? He was kind of stumped. Like,
he didn't have answers for
He didn't really have answers, and like I know he normally just kind of floats around from answer to answer, but like he really like went around that in a way because I don't think he had the answer, you know, and he has to figure those kind of things out if he wants to be like realistically thought of as a presidential candidate.
So do you guys take him seriously as a threat to the presidency? Do you think he can really?
I don't think he's a threat to America running for government. I don't think. I personally.
I think
don't
you used
think
the wrong word.
I meant by threat to the presidency. I meant like
you think
he can become a president. That's what I mean. Like, do you think he's somebody?
Yes, it might be a little weird to say, and like I'm not like one of those crazy hypebeasts that's like, yo, for Kanye, he's so sick. It's like I just kind of understand at least where he's coming from and what he's trying to go for on the surface level already. So that's why I can believe that his ideas will be able to do something great. I don't know if it will get to that point where he becomes president, but I think it can happen, and he could do something great.
I'm telling you, like it's hard. Like, what is his backbone? Like, he's saying all these like these sick ideas and stuff like that. But like, yeah, I think a better way to one example, a better way to have gone about this. say if he started a movement, if he started a political party with individuals in the field already, with people that can help him, and that they're sharing a vision and they're helping the nation see this vision.
I think he's trying to.
If he started
If
he started a political movement from now and then down the line when he's ready to run for presidency, that would have helped the world to understand. But like his backing right now is himself and media coverage, and media coverage is not helping for shit. Like you know those memes.
They're making him look like he's crazy.
They're making fun of him.
You know the ones where they cut up the interview, like that one in 20 Cent Savage. Yeah, and he's like, I call my mama.
Hilarious.
Call my mama beach.
Bro, he just released one about the Kanye and Joe Rogan one. It was hilarious.
Shit like that. If I didn't have this conversation, if I didn't fully like watch most of that interview podcast or whatever, like. That's what I'd be seeing, and like my understanding, like understand a lot of people's understandings are probably just like, yo, like this guy's not making any sense. Look at this shit, he's a joke. No,
that's the thing, right? That's the exact thing. Kanye is trying to change that because all of those people, including us and media outlets, are still looking at him as Kanye the artist. So they're not taking him seriously as like Kanye the philanthropist or Kanye the like somebody that is.
I don't think he would win in the next.
Genius,
I don't think he would. He's definitely not going to win in this year, for the race, but I don't think he'll probably even win the next one, but I think if he sets himself up, he could win the one after that, just because he really needs to lean into this more. Like, I think he needs to start that movement. He needs to kind of like get things sorted out and make people believe in him more as like a president and less of like a music artist. He just needs time, and he needs to start putting those steps together, and I believe that will happen,
But the thing is, will Kanye do that? Because Kanye is extremely scatterbrained. Like, he didn't decide till 4 months ago that he was going to run for president.
That's cap. That's cap.
He said 4 years ago he was going to run, but he didn't start putting a plan in place until 4 or 5 months ago.
No, I'm sure he
6
has.
months ago.
I'm sure he has.
He said in the podcast that he really didn't. Like, in the podcast, he talks about how because of COVID, he didn't know what he was going to do next, and he kind of had an idea for presidency, but he didn't know, and he was with his daughter or whatever.
But I'm sure he's trying to prepare himself like mentally for it, like as in the sense like he knows he can't tackle certain things because he has to focus on others, so I know he's trying to set up for it, but he's not quite there, right? You still need to like get ready.
But you know as well as I do, and you as well, that like from watching that interview, you can tell that he's clearly not as prepared as he should be.
That's what I mean. That's why I think it's a reality check.
That's the point I've been trying to make. Like, you cannot run for something as important as the being the president of one of the most powerful nations in the world without some sort of a backing, bro. You
100%.
You need something to show, some sort of experience, something that you've already done. And he's established himself as an artist. We know he has classics. That's all of that. But like,
we're looking past that. We're not talking about the music.
He is kind of doing that though. He is kind of doing that.
I know, but fam,
I'm making like the shelters and the farms.
Even just like public image. Like, there's a lot that I don't know. Most of the things I see about Kanye West in the media are about his shoes or about his music or about anything crazy.
He needs to get away from that.
He needs to move completely away from it and change a whole direction so the stigma of his personality.
That's what I think he's doing. I think like it's weird because he's at the beginning of it, but I think he's trying to do that. He's trying to get away from that. Like, look at how he was talking on the podcast, talking about like, we're making shelters, we're making farms, he's trying to go in that direction. He's just at the beginning. So, but I think it'll follow, and I just believe in the vision, at least that he was explaining, like maybe he didn't get out correctly and maybe he's got me mind controlled, but like I understood what he was. I
put him in a genjutsu mid-interview.
Yeah. I'm gonna vote Kanye for president. I get what he was going for, at least, so like I don't know, it made sense to me. Like obviously he could be a terrible president, he could be an amazing one, but like I wish the best for him, and I hope that he'll be able to convey what he's thinking a little better in the future. Because he was extremely scatterbrained there.
I want to understand the different thinking though. So could you kind of explain a little something he said? Like, what's one thing he was?
Okay, so I'll try and broaden in the sense that like, a lot of the ways that presidents move now is okay. So let's work on like our taxes. Let's work on like our military, one step at a time, and it sounds realistic, right? Let's change one thing. Let's change one thing, and let's mold a better United States, right? But the problem I see with that is like they change one thing, then a new president comes in, changes something else. It just kind of like gets out of whack. It doesn't seem like too much gets done.
But that's a problem with government right now, where like Obama came in and he had Obamacare, right?
Yeah,
he made that a big thing, and then Trump came in and completely demolished it.
So what I'm trying to say is that Kanye, he is really, I know a lot of people don't like to see him as, but he's really trying to be revolutionary in the sense that he wants to bring everybody together and try and focus as a whole on mankind. Because it just if you think about it in this sense, like if we had all the smartest guys in the room in the world, we could achieve a lot more as a species, right? So what he's going for is, let's make sure that all those guys, because let's be realistic. If one of the smart guys is from US, one's from China, one's from Canada, one's from Norway, all that, right now they're not going to get in the same room and talk, right? Kanye is about trying to bring everybody together and focus on propelling mankind as far as we can, soon as we can.
Let me ask you this, though.
Yeah.
Are you more inclined to follow someone that says the ideas or that is doing them?
Yes, so I would of course want to follow somebody who does them,
which is weird.
He's
Like he kind of
not
does.
yet,
I know.
but
There's one person, for example, that always comes to mind is Elon Musk.
yes,
Like we see him a lot in regular like media and all. Like he's on Twitter like a lot, always like talking to people and shit like that. But I feel like a lot of the stuff that he works on and everything that he's doing, he does it without really saying a whole lot. And especially his ideas for the future, like he's working on actually implementing them, and he kind of gives a rough idea of what he's trying to do, but he's not outspoken like Kanye, where he completely talks about it, confusing the world, and then tries to make it work. Instead of, I feel like how Elon Musk is going about figuring out how to do it and then explaining.
Is in the
That
process
kinda
of
shows-
doing
yeah.
it.
So he's
and
more
then
of a
while he's in the
walker, and
process-
Kanye's more of a talker. It makes
But like
sense. But
obviously
like,
Kanye's
you-
done
but you
a lot
can't
of
really
good,
say-
but I'm just saying like you need to be doing
back it up.
Here's
You
the
need
thing:
to back
you
up
can't
that
really
talks,
say
yeah.
you can't really say Kanye's a talker either, though, because Kanye does these things. Like Kanye is implementing these shelters,
Yes.
these farms, so and so.
Okay.
What I've learned from that interview, like my thing is, and when I say Kanye is really scatterbrained, I mean like I realized how hard of a time, and it's weird because I have the same issue too, but I realized how hard of a time Kanye has staying on one subject. So like he'll be asked something and he'll start talking about it and then completely drift somewhere completely else and then talk about 5 or 6 different topics within 10 minutes. Like boom, boom, just like whatever comes straight off the dome real quick. You know what I mean? And when he does that, he has to like, people hold him to his word, right? Especially if he wants to run for president. People are going to start holding him to his word. And he, like his, I don't know if PR is the right word, but like, I'm going to use it for lack of a better term. His PR is really messy. Like he just says whatever he wants, and then he either has to do it or he feels like maybe he's already in the works of it. I don't know. Whereas like Elon, like somebody like Musk, right? He'll, like you said, he only says things that are already in the pipeline and halfway done or on the road to being done. So he doesn't look as crazy as Kanye does.
Like the way
he's not just talking about ideas;
like,
he's in the middle of executing.
But I did realize too, a lot of smart people, like a lot of very, very smart people like Kanye and fuck with him and want him to succeed in what he does. And I do believe in the notion that to be a billionaire, to even get to where Kanye is, you have to be crazy a little bit. You know, to be a Musk, to be a Kanye, to be a Warren Buffett, like Bill Gates, all these guys, you have to be crazy a little bit. You know what I mean? So, like at least a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Insane. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these people that think differently are like they're necessary so that we can have some sort of progress as a species. You know, like we need these people that think differently so that like we hit the industrial revolution, so that TVs can become a thing. Like all these things were people who thought outside the box. What can we do to reach the next step? But like when you see someone explaining it and showing like how it can be done at the same time instead of being a scattered like one example is is Elon Musk talking about how SpaceX is trying to go and live on Mars to make a Mars colony and stuff like that. The way people talk about that and the way people talk about Kanye West running for presidency, people talk about Kanye West going for presidency as crazy because no one understands what he's trying to do or how he's trying to do it. When Elon Musk talks about going to Mars and starting a space colony and stuff, he's kind of showing a little bit of the backing of the technology and of the plan. And the way we talk about it is like, holy shit, would you guys go? Like, what would you do? And he's even saying how he won't have the same laws in Mars on Earth. So the discourse on, or like the discussions on Elon Musk and on SpaceX going to Mars and stuff are more based on like actually doing it or talking about like, oh yo, if you lived on Mars and there's no laws, what would you do?
I think,
or like, would you go? But people talking about Kanye West is like, how is that? I think
the difference is because Kanye's at a pivot point in his life right now. So like, I don't know everything about Elon Musk, but I'm sure that most of his life he's been in this field that he's in now, or he's been working towards it, right? So he has that kind of experience to back him up, and he's always been propelling himself in that direction, right? Kanye, it seems like he's like, okay, I'm going in music direction. Then he kind of pivoted. He still did music, but he kind of pivoted, and then he's like, okay, now I'm going to do fashion. And now he's pivoting again, and he wants to do, like, presidential, candidacy.
change
But that's the thing, like
So
to the
the
regular
thing is-
person,
yeah.
to the regular person, this just looks like another thing that Kanye is doing
Yeah.
before he bounces to the next thing.
Yeah,
You know,
I
and being
understand that.
president isn't that. You have to commit to it for
Yeah.
at least 4 years. You know what I mean?
I think
So-
the biggest thing now is just gonna be, I know like the Joe Rogan podcast isn't the biggest thing in the world, but a fair amount of people have seen it and people that believe in him. So I believe that in the next, let's say 4 years, the big thing that's gonna be is how Kanye can back up most of what he said. I think he really needs to back up the kind of claims that he made, because he made some pretty outlandish things that he wants to do. So it's just he needs to start executing them, and it could happen in the future. You know, like you never know. He could be president, but like you said, he needs that backbone, and now he's just starting to build it. Right now, he's right here, and let's say president will be up here. He needs to really like start that move now that he's talked about it, because you can't just talk about it and have nothing behind it. You know, you gotta move with it.
Talking about like taking presidents and like as a joke and shit like that. Like I found it funny. I don't know if anybody watching follows Nelk, like the YouTube channel. They're from Brampton.
Yo,
It's pretty sick.
no,
how
they're not. They're from Saga,
Are they from Saga?
I think.
I
don't know.
think one of them is from Brampton. Regardless,
I know.
like it was
We don't claim Nino.
No,
We don't
we can't talk about Nino.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can't talk about Nino. So
That's
cancel.
crazy.
Nah, I don't know if you guys
do you
saw,
fumble a
but
bag like
Nelk
that?
was Nelk had Trump.
Trunk.
They had Trump on their newest video. It was pretty funny.
No,
As they- at like a Trump rally, bro. They're like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" And they're like,
No, they did the YMCA with them. They were dancing
Yeah,
on
what the
stage with
fuck?
them because
Like-
they had, Steve and everybody was going off, and Trump was just. He's just like.
"Yeah,
"See,
you know how he
get
does that
ass,"
face where he's like,
And he
With, like, the duck lips?
He looked at them and he's like, he got so mad. He saw like young Trump
You
supporters.
think
He's like,
he
"Come
knows
on
who that
stage,
is?
come
You
on
think he
stage."
knows him?
Definitely not.
Guaranteed he
Yeah.
doesn't. Guaranteed
Definitely
he
not.
doesn't.
So they all went on stage and they're like taking part of it and shit. Like they're actually funny. I don't even know how the fuck they made it that far.
"Yeah, I
there.
have no idea." Bro.
Even
Nelk is sick.
in that video, they got sponsored by UFC to go out to Abu Dhabi. and
Yeah,
watch the
that
fight.
shit was crazy, bro. They got like
No,
nice shit going on there.
It's pretty cool to see they started like their quality wasn't even that sick, and their videos were like in Walmart and Target and shit, like fucking
Yeah,
around.
the
And, like,
local ones,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. And now they're all the way in halfway across the world.
Yo,
doing-
you know what's
doing
crazy?
Not really.
videos.
You know what's crazy?
Oh wait,
seen,
yeah,
Abu Dhabi,
yeah,
yeah.
that
I
is
seen
far.
some people on my.
I thought you were talking about the U.S. I was like, nah, that's not far, guy.
Yo, with the UFC fights, and like I've seen some people too that are in Abu Dhabi right now. It seems like it's a vibe over there, you know?
No,
Super,
Like
bro.
they're not
so
wearing
nice.
masks.
No,
Apparently
Everybody's
the
just
laws
chilling.
are strict there though.
Yo,
Apparently
the
laws are
sickest
strict.
thing,
For
bro.
women.
A man
Yeah,
like, a
and
man
And
like
they
chilling.
can't drink
Steve.
in public. I think something like that.
I don't know, maybe, but I know like it seems like it's a vibe over there. I know women can't like dress a certain way or like they need to
Yo,
be.
guys, take it what Steve did, bro. Man took the championship belt, the real championship belt, and he went around to a pool party and just started showing it off. How the fuck did they allow that to happen?
No,
bro?
you know what's
hilarious.
no.
You know what it is though? In big companies like that, they have like 5 or 6 championship belts, just like as like
doesn't
backups,
matter.
you
It
know
was
what I
just
mean?
funny, bro. He was like making jokes, like cracking jokes, trying to pull milfs,
Bro,
bro.
Kyle
It was hilarious.
was talking to Khabib. He was talking to Khabib.
Yeah, bro.
And he was like, yo, some guy's fucking my girlfriend, man. I need a way to crush him. And he can't, like, where should I train? Where should I start? And then the Khabib was like, well, how old are you, bro? He was like, I'm 26. You're too late. Get a pit bull.
I told him to get dog. He's like, get dog. I told him to just fuck some guy up with a pit bull. That's hilarious.
So jokes. No, it's sick to see the progress like that for YouTube channels that started off, like, you know, they're doing local shit. And now they're out and about.
It is. That's the coolest shit to me. Like seeing like where YouTube channels or where people started off to like the trajectory they're going in, and then
yeah.
like
Bro,
see
because
them
I've
hit
seen
the
Nelk.
top.
I've seen Nelk a couple times now. Like over at just at a club downtown. I've seen them just partying and shit. Like it's cool to see like the local guys like get big, you know? Like there was one time we I think Dante was there. We went to like an Adidas event like in Toronto, and there was like a bunch of artists performing there. It was like a private event or something, and there was
That wasn't me.
Nate, maybe I
Maybe
don't
it
know.
was Nate,
A
yeah,
couple
it
of our
wasn't me,
boys
though.
went to an Adidas event, and Killy was performing there. There was like a couple other guys, and then Nelk just popped up on stage and just jumped in and started crowd surfing. I had no idea they were gonna be there. It was just hilarious just seeing them pop up, because you know how they just get drunk and shit. Man's just popping bottles, getting loud. It was hilarious.
Nah, it's pretty sick to see the development. So they're a pretty fire channel. And just like to have the balls to do pranks like that in public.
Yup.
To like to be talking to people, fucking with them like that. You need a serious character to be like, be straight, to be call yourself Jaquavis in a lecture hall.
Hey, I'm Jaquavis.
I don't know how they do half the shit they do. I would just start dying of laughter.
Nah, the one that Salim does kills you. He just walks up behind somebody, he's like, like right in their ear.
Please don't moan.
You guys heard that a little too loud, eh?
Some of our viewers are gonna slide in your DMs after this.
No, they won't. I just got blocked by like 40 people.
Everybody's clicking unsubscribe right now, bro.
Nah, this guy Salim, he just goes up behind people and does that at Walmart, bro. It's like, how do mans not snuff him, bro? Like, that's hilarious.
They probably do. They just probably don't post those videos.
The one guy's reaction was so funny. That one guy that was like, "Who the hell are you?" He was screaming at him in like the Walmart or something.
That reminded me of that one video.
People can't take jokes. Though. People in public cannot take a joke.
Like, and I was like, "Daddy, chill," and he's like, "What the fuck even is that?"
Bro, that's the funniest shit ever.
What the hell even is that?
There's always the people that can't take the jokes though, like the Karen.
You're always gonna have your Karens, fam.
Yeah, there's always gonna be Karens out there, but like it's our job as like wastemen to like fuck with them, you know,
to piss them off.
Yes sir.
We've been missing Mouty. Another moment of silence for Mouty.
It's not the same.
We gotta give a second moment of silence.
Shut up. Okay.
Mr. Uno's and Doses.
Mr. Uno's and Doses.
We're missing him, bro. We miss you.
Yo, that's what you gotta call him from now. Mr. Uno's and Doses. Mr. Ones and Twos.
Yep. Anyways, I think we'll wrap it up here, guys. Hope you enjoyed us three. And we'll be back in the next couple episodes, the next couple weeks.
Peace.